Hey everyone, welcome to what I hope will be the first of many new videos. After a period of about 6 or 7 years of absence, I've decided to relaunch my channel under a new name, a new franchise, new branding, new logo, and basically new everything, and focus on one franchise in particular, as you'll see in the title of this video, and that is Star Wars, specifically the prequel era, which, as many people know, has received a lot of criticism, and a lot of people seem to be inclined to steer away from it and almost forget that it existed, which is the opposite with me. And I have spent the last few years amassing a collection, which I'm about to show you, of a number of movie prop replicas that have set me back quite a bit in terms of, well, money, time and effort to acquire, and today I'm going to show it to you. This will be the first of what I hope many videos, and I'm going to be going over each of these prop replicas individually, so bear in mind this video today is just a brief overview of what's to come. And here is the collection. Now what you're seeing is these are full-size, wearable, full-scale prop replicas of the Clone Trooper helmets seen in Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. Now, I understand that this video is probably going to be plagued by comments of people saying, probably number one, can you wear these? In which the answer is yes. Can I buy it off you? On which the answer is unfortunately no, because one, I've spent a hell of a long time trying to find all of these helmets, and I don't really see myself parting with them for at least a decade, of which their value and how scarce they are will probably go up. These helmets shouldn't really be classed as toys, and well, they're definitely not classed as toys, and even really shouldn't be, in my opinion, taken out of their cabinet, maybe to show one or two people occasionally, but since they are extremely rare, they're not really material you want to be wandering about in, and they're mainly, as I treat them, just for looking at. Some people might see that as silly, some people might see that as respectful. It just depends on your point of view. Anyway, I'm going to go in not really chronological order, but chronological in terms of how I've set these up, and talk you through each one. As I said, this video is an overview, so I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I will be talking about a little bit of information about each helmet, when I got it, how I got it, what it's worth, where it came from, and what it means. So this first helmet here, as many people probably know, is a clone captain helmet that was seen in Attack of the Clones in 2002. Now, this helmet in the real world never really existed, because everyone knows the clones were CGI. And there was one actor, Tamira Morrison, who did portray them in certain scenes, but they almost most of the time had their helmets on, and there was never really any scenes where you got to see a standard clone without his helmet on, with the exception of maybe Cody in Revenge of the Sith. Now, these helmets, this one in particular, is made by a company called, or was made by a company called EFX, which does still exist to this day, however doesn't really go into the detail that it did with this particular piece, which is, as you can see, a Clone Trooper Captain helmet from Attack of the Clones Episode 2. Now, there were 400 of these made worldwide. Just 400. That's how rare these things are. And as you can see, I picked up at number 305. That wasn't a one I was supplied with. It wasn't one I made a choice of which number to get. It's literally luck of the draw. I got this actually a few weeks ago off of eBay, and I'll talk you through the price of it in a minute, how much it costs. But the interesting thing about this is, although there were 400 in the world, at the time when these were released, which was I think around about 2007, 2008, like I said, 400 were released, but only 50 of them were ever shipped outside the US, so you had to be quick on the trigger and actually pre-order them probably the day they were released on the website to actually have a chance of getting one. That website being, as you can see, StarWarsShop.com, which I believe does still exist. Now, this helmet is made from fiberglass, I believe, and although that may sound fragile in a way, let me assure you it is a solid piece. I think it actually has resin in it as well, but the attention to detail on this thing is absolutely insane, down to even the breathing vent up front, or I assume that's what that is, there's not really much information, all the way down to the battle damage that was hand painted obviously, all the way to the face grille, the actual mirrored visor which is screen accurate, and these were actually made by using the Lucasfilm digital CG files that were used in the films. So these really are the most accurate replications you can get of a clone trooper helmet. There is nothing nearer than you can get to it than this. This is the ultimate collector's piece and real clone trooper piece, if I'm honest, because out of all the clone helmets, this is probably the rarest one and the most sought after one, and the one that people are willing to, well, not part with, especially me, as you can probably gather. This one, like I said, is my newest piece, and I have been looking for this for a very long time. I'll just give you a brief side-on view of the helmet. Like I said, it does have grills in both sides and a bit of rust damage, which you can see, which is all hand painted, and the mirrored finish, which I said earlier. These figurines in it, I just put them with it. They didn't come with the helmet, they're nothing to do with it at all. I simply put them there for aesthetics. I'm not gonna get the helmet out on this review. I will be when I do a specific review on it later, but for the minute I'm just going to leave it inside its case because it is quite a heavy piece and I don't really want to drop it while holding my new iPhone with one hand. I have actually got a ATTE in there, which is a Diagostini, I think that you pronounce it, if I'm pronouncing that right, figurine vehicle, which is actually die cast, which I took off its stand because, well, I couldn't really fit it in there on its stand, and I think it looks better without it, to be honest. And a Republic gunship, obviously, which is not to scale, unless that clone trooper's 100 feet tall, which would be awesome, but you know. This thing is, well, basically just plastic. It's nothing special important, but it's the only one I could really find of something miniature which could fit in this case. And I'm a massive fan of the gunships. To be honest, I reckon if they had one Republic gunship on the Battle of Hoth, it could have taken out all those AT-ATs, but, you know, a lot of people are probably going to disagree with that in the comments, but hey-ho. That's what I believe. Anyway, on to the next part of the cabinet, which is another Clone Trooper helmet from Attack of the Clones. This one is just the standard clone helmet. Even though it may be standard, the price of it is not exactly cheap, I'm going to say. Obviously, it doesn't have the mirrored visor like the Captain does, but it still comes with everything that the other helmet did, including the plaque, which says the Worldwide Edition, which this is 1,000, so 600 more than the last one, even though I believe this one was produced first. As I said, I've got number 876 out of 1,000, as you can see. Like I said, that wasn't a number I chose, it's literally just what I got given, and it's the luck of the draw, I'm afraid. It does come with this thing, which you're probably wondering what that is, and what it actually is a, almost like a expandable leaflet kind of thing. That bit on the left you can see there, you actually pull that out, which I will show you in the later review, and it basically goes through the schematics and everything on the helmet, tells you when it was made, who it was made by, and basically the pictures of it in production, and even a certificate of authenticity by EFX, which well certifies its authenticity, which you can't really put a price on, to be honest, because that's what it is. Like I said, both helmets come with these, but because they were all produced in different years, there's slight variations. As you can see, that one's got the Star Wars Shop logo on it, this one hasn't. So I'm presuming this one was either made first or second. I don't actually know. I'm presuming second through the popularity of this one. Like I said, I've got figurines in there as well, but they're literally just something I put in for a aesthetic point of view. Like I said, this helmet doesn't have a mirrored visor. One thing I haven't mentioned is that the interior of these helmets, which you can probably just see, well, to you it would just look like blackness, but what it is actually a kind of almost like a motorbike helmet feel. So it does grip your head very well, and it's almost like it is padding, but it's very firm padding because it's, as you can see, the cheekbones are dented in, which basically dent into your cheekbones and hold the helmet firmly to your head, which is what it's designed to do. Like I said, it is wearable, but I would not recommend going out in it and even taking it to conventions, because if you break this, there's really nothing you can do about it. I mean, unless you have a time machine and can go back to 2010 to get a new one, you ain't going to be getting a new one, because EFX would probably not give you permission to, well, even ask for a new one, and these things sold out many years ago. And well, you probably get the point from what I'm saying, is just basically look at it, don't take advantage of it, because these are extremely special pieces. On to the next one, which is actually something that was made before the episode 2 helmets. So the episode 3, and this is specifically from Cody's battalion, as you can see, the 212th Attack Battalion. These helmets were made before the episode 2 helmets, which is a little bit weird, but you know. These were made in, I think, 2006 or 2005. Each helmet's different, so I don't know the exact date. It does have it on a label, but like I said, I'm not going to open the cabinet. This one does come with a very good leaflet, which I'll zoom in on in a minute. This has exactly the same padding as the other two, although because the helmet's a different shape, and it's more shaped like a stormtrooper helmet, as you can probably see from the evolution of it. It does grip your head a little bit better because it's more rounded than the top one, which is kind of almost not really in the shape of a head, as you probably would feel if you ever wore one. Whereas this one is a lot more human head friendly. That's never ever been said before, you know. But it does have the vents at the front, the breathing filter or amplifier or whatever the hell that is. It does have, as you can probably just about see, a grill inside the grill, or the sad face or whatever that's supposed to be on the clone helmets. It does come with the official 212th stripe. And this leaflet, which I said about a minute ago, which actually does depict the clones in battle. I will show you this leaflet in a lot more HD detail in its specific review for this helmet. But as you can see, it talks about the troopers of the 212th, how they assisted Cody, what they were doing on Utapau, and how they attempted to kill Obi-Wan in Revenge of the Sith, but failed, gladly. So I'm not really sure what happened to these guys after Revenge of the Sith, but as I said, I am a huge fan of the prequel era, and basically don't despise the new films, but I don't mind the sequels, but really my allegiance lies with the prequels. Not really even just the prequels, it's the entire Clone Wars era in general, down to the TV show, even down to the comics, and well, what everyone goes by these days called canon. My opinion is, if it doesn't interrupt or get in the way of or cause any major problems with the official Star Wars story, then anything can be real. This canon stuff has really got out of hand, and I think it's spoiled Star Wars, to be honest, because if they're saying things are no longer true, that's kind of, well, destroying the dreams of people who used to love specific parts of Star Wars, and what's the point in doing that if it's supposed to be enjoyed? It's just stupid. So that's my opinion of it, and sorry that was a little bit negative, but that's just the way I feel about it. As you can probably just about see, that is the certificate of authenticity, which I will show you later. It has got the official Master Replicas logo on it. Master Replicas were the same company as EFX, however they existed before EFX. Master Replicas went bankrupt or went into liquidation, I can't remember which one. And a few members of their team stayed on and formed EFX, which still exists today. They do Star Wars things, or prop replicas today, but they don't do it in the mass that they used to. Moving on to the last helmet, this is the 327th Star Corps Trooper. This was featured on Felucia, I believe, and these troopers were responsible for the death of Ayla Secura. They followed Commander Bligh, and basically it's the same as the last helmet, and weirdly the plaques do differ on these, as you can see, master replicas. And this is number 284 out of which I think was 600 made, which is weirdly why it doesn't say it on there, but you know. And on this one I've got a pretty cool number, 212th Attack Battalion, although that plaque's fallen off its stand, which I'll have to fix. I've got number 99 out of 1,000, which in my opinion is a pretty cool number to have. Like I said, that number's not as good, a bit random, 284, but sort of midway between the 600 mark, if you see what I mean. This one does come with its certificate, which you can see a bit better in this one, which does tell you about Lucasfilm, made by Master Replicas, and it does give you a brief overview of it. If I had to say which one was the most sought after in this cabinet, it's got to be the top one, without a shadow of a doubt. That's the hardest one I found to get my hands on, and money wise you're probably looking at least 900 to £1,000, which in dollars is probably about 1,300, roughly $1,400, because that's how, my math might be off a bit there, but that's how rare this helmet is. And you won't find many people willing to part with it. The one I got first, I believe, was this one many years ago, and I've built up my collection a bit more now, and you can see them all in this really nice cabinet which I've set up. Like I said, this is the first of many videos to come, and I will be reviewing these helmets individually, showing you inside the helmets, trying them on so you can see they are indeed wearable, and basically how much of a great prop replica they are. So thanks for watching this video. It is the first of many, as I said, and to all the prequel fans out there, all the Clone Wars fans, I'm not going to ask you to subscribe, and in fact if people don't enjoy the Clone Wars era, I'm not going to say don't subscribe, don't feel forced to watch this video. Only people who support the Clone Wars should, you know, want to subscribe, and if you don't, then well, this video is not for you. I'm not going to say subscribe, I'm not going to ask you to like or comment or anything like that. This is purely just for the prequel fans, and designed to almost rally a cause. So like I said, thanks for watching this video. It's the first of many, and I hope to bring you many videos in the future. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye.